Hi, it's Michi, and yes, it's time for another episode of Daily Reflections. Last time we've been talking about eliminating negativity, and I showed one of the steps I take to at least reduce it, if not eliminating it. And today we're going to talk about the benefit cost ratio and how I'm applying it in my daily life. So, the concept itself usually relates to projects. At least that's how I got introduced to it. And apparently, I've been using it all wrong. Not conceptual wise, but I always said the cost benefit ratio. But apparently, I've recently learned it's the benefit cost ratio, which, by the way, puts it in a much more positive light. All right, related to projects, usually on the cost side, you've guessed it right, costs in terms of money. And on the benefit side, most of the time you also have costs. But besides that, money, not costs, benefit, money in terms of benefit. But on the other side, you could also put qualitative metrics there. Because sometimes you invest in something and you get money back, but you also get other things back. And in a nutshell, the cost benefit ratio is a metric that tells you at a glance whether you have a project that you should invest in or not. And if you now compare different projects with one another, then you can pick the one that has the best benefit cost ratio. And by that, it's super easy to decide which project to choose, at least in a theoretical and very simplified example. Talking about examples, look at it like this. You're building a house, you're constructing it, and in total it costs $1 million. And after it's finished, you can sell it for $1.1 million. So you made a profit of 100,000 on top of it. So the cost benefit ratio, quite obviously, is 1.1, which tells us everything above 1 is positive. Everything below 1, not so much. And here, if we take that idea that has been used in business life and other areas, government projects, for decades, and probably even earlier, we can take that method, that idea, and transfer it. We talked about transferable knowledge before, right? And transfer it into our daily life. At least that's what I did. Because think about a house again, and let's assume you're not going to sell it afterwards, you're going to live in it. Where's the benefit side of it? You don't get any money back. Yes, you have savings in terms of you're not renting anymore, but also most likely your cost is much higher than that. So we also introduce other more qualitative metrics on the benefit side. And this could be emotional feelings. You feel happy, you feel safe, whatever it is. And now we can transfer that to any other thing, decision you make in your life. And again, that's what I do. Let's look at buying new clothes. If I spend $200 on new shoes, new pants, new sweater, then obviously, although we probably could break it down into how much return on investment I have in financial terms, but you usually don't get money back if you buy clothes. At least I don't. Maybe you do, but I don't. So on the benefit side, I have again, most of the time, those emotional returns on investment on a That's it, for example. I feel proud. I feel happy, important, confident. Most likely depends on the outfit. So that's how I can and I do when I feel the urge that I want to have new clothes. I can sit down and, not with pen and paper, but at least in my head, calculate whether if I invest those $200, I will get a positive return on that investment. Whether the benefit is higher than the money I spend on it. And I applied that to every other area in my life. Whether it be what I'm eating, whether it be work, whether it be my relationships. So in each situation of my life, and I wouldn't call it subconsciously, but like a habit or like a reflex, it just comes to my mind because I used it for such a long time and thought about for quite some time, regardless of the decision, whether it has a positive benefit cost ratio. And by now, it just pops up in my mind whenever I have a smaller or bigger decision in front of me. And that's the main takeaway. So it's not always money. If you think about your assets, that's of course money, but that's time, that's energy, whatever comes to your mind. And you can put those assets also on the benefit and the cost side. Because sometimes our decisions, our activities don't involve money at all, at least not directly. And sometimes it's just energy we spend on something, or time we spend on something. For example, learning or watching a movie. If, again, I have the feeling that today I want to watch a movie, which we've already clarified, I don't, but let's assume I do. Or let's take another example, reading a book. I can either read a book or spend time with a person, my partner. So I can now, and I do, think actively about the investment I take with that decision. In this case, I'm investing my energy and time. And what's the return? And I compare, based on my values, of course, what has the better, the more positive benefit cost ratio. And if it is negative, so below 1, then I shouldn't even consider it. Now, of course, you not always, and I not always end up with a concrete number. But the main takeaway is that at least, as long as you, as I've thought about it consciously for quite some time, once it becomes a habit, then you have at least that concept in mind and think about it. And consciously, we talk about consciousness so many times, but consciously think about whether it's worth it or not. Yeah, that's how the benefit cost ratio helped me to improve my decision making and be aware of where I invest my assets, including money, time, energy, and so many other things. For now, I leave it to you. Think about it. Don't think about it. But if you think about it, let me know what you think. All right. By the way, or almost forgot it, last time was episode number 10. Exciting. I forgot it. Now it's 11. Equally excited. Yeah, if you haven't watched them, do it now or later. And I will see you next time. with episode number 12. It was my pleasure. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.